The same applies with our difficulty in life, the loss. You will recover one step at a time, one day at a time, a portion of a day at a time. You survive the day, thank Allah at the end of the day with Salatul Isha. Thank Allah, oh Allah, I survived today. I earned today a little bit. I had a little bit of food. I thank you for this. A believer focuses on the positives. The one whose connection with Allah is weak focuses on the negatives. Oh Allah, I only earned 3,000 this month. 3,000. Other people are surviving on a few hundred. I only earned 3,000. What are you talking about? What did you do? Oh, I can't afford rental. How much is your rent? 25,000. Why are you living in such a big house? To help you recover from your loss, you must learn to adjust your life and thank Allah for it. To help you recover from your loss, adjust your life. Thank Allah for it, because if you do not thank Allah, there is no chance that you're going to move forward, and you won't even be able to adjust. How can you not budget? You must budget. You lost your job immediately. You start watching where you are spending, what is going on. It does not mean because my friends and my family and everyone thinks that I'm rich, now that I've lost a job, I need to get a loan or two. No, do not get yourself into loan. No debt. Don't do that. Do not get yourself into unnecessary expense. It will help you recover from your loss. Adjust your life. Learn to perhaps change the quality of, or the standard of your living, the quality of your food and drink perhaps. People are wealthy, they get accustomed to expensive tastes. Then one day when they lose, what happens? They find it depressing to downgrade. That's a weakness in you, not in Allah. Astaghfirullah. That's why they say, when you have children and you've been blessed with wealth, your dream is to give them a comfortable life. While doing so, consider the fact that they may be married into a home that doesn't have all of that. Or there may come a day when you don't have all of that. Don't get them too spoiled. Even when you have. Don't spoil yourself so much that one day when you don't have, it's going to really cause a huge depression. No. Be humble. The main thing that a believer focuses on when he earns is charity. Did you know that? The main thing a believer should be focused on when Allah blesses him with something is how he can give it to others. Subhanallah. That's the main thing. That's why I've always said, Islam is the only religion that has made it a pillar of faith to share what you have with those who don't have it. It's the only religion. Part of the 5 pillars is, Allah blessed you, that man doesn't have, take it out of your pocket and give him. Then you fulfill the pillar of Islam. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Have you thought of that? That means Allah wants you to share what He's given you. Forget about the percentage because it differs. 2.5 is the bulk of zakat, okay? But over and above that, if Allah is making it a rule, a part of your faith to give away 2.5% of what you have in terms of belongings to those who don't have, under certain conditions, don't you think He would be super happy if you gave way more than that? Because He gave you way more than that. What's the point of a Muslim wanting to amass in a way that he or she wants to be known as, I have billions and trillions and more billions and more? It's okay to be a billionaire, there's nothing wrong with it, but what are you doing with that wealth? Are you giving it? Are you spending it? Are you building your paradise by spending it in the right cause? If the answer is yes, Allah will make easy for you the recovery from your loss the day it comes. Remember, money cannot buy everything. That's why, if you'd like to recover from your loss, stop comparing your lives with the lives of others. Don't compare. You want to really look at the lives of others, look at those who have been through more than you, who have struggled more than you, who have actually been through so much, yet they are happier than you and more content. Look at them. You look at someone, you say, this man, subhanAllah, his whole business burnt down, and he's sitting and he's standing in salah, and he has a smile on his face, and his whole business burnt down. And another man, a tire blew from his car, and you know what? He is super angry and challenging the world, and he's so upset, and he can't even come to terms with it. My brother, my beloved brother, there's nothing you're going to do about it. Thank Allah that you're okay. Your tire burst. You didn't burst, did you? Allah grant us ease. Your tire burst. It's okay, we'll change it. But I missed my meeting. Forget about meeting. People have missed their loved ones, completely gone. Death has overtaken them. Life has changed completely. Imagine if someone you love the most passes away right now. You get a message to say, so and so gone. Do you know that your life will change instantly? Your meetings and your appointments and your food and your business and everything, it becomes secondary. Even your food becomes secondary. You forget to eat. That's how you become emotional, and you're overtaken by overwhelming feelings and so on. You forget. Life changed. So those small tests are nothing, man. Small. Thank Allah for them. Loss. What did you lose? I asked a youngster, has Allah ever tested you with loss? He said, yes. I said, what? He said, my cell phone. I said, Allahu Akbar. I did not belittle that. The boy was right. In my mind, I'm thinking, Allah has not yet tested you, my child. You lost your cell phone. He said, yeah, don't worry, you'll recover from the loss. He said, no, I did. I said, how? He said, my dad bought me another one. There goes. There goes. So each one's loss is actually according to that level of the person. Each one's loss. If you and I were to lose a mobile phone, perhaps we would probably cry over, or not cry over, but we would probably consider the greater loss the contents rather than the gadget itself. The contents, what's inside, is probably a greater loss than the gadget itself. But when you're younger and you have less responsibility, and perhaps your work is of a different nature, in that particular instance, hey, it was the phone. Forget about the contacts, I don't need them. I'll start afresh. But Allah will grant you. Thank Allah, connect with Allah, praise Allah. So for a young mind, the loss is on a different level altogether. We need to help them understand. Don't worry, Allah will replace it for you always, always. And I guarantee you, my brothers, my sisters, those of us who might have suffered a loss, promise of Allah, a promise of Allah, He will always replace it with something way better in this world, and if not in this world, then in the hereafter. You might say, well, I lost my spouse. How did Allah replace the spouse with something way better? I'm still sitting without a spouse. And like I said, my children or my family members don't even want me to get married. They consider it a betrayal of the deceased. The answer is, you know what? We will try to help by talking to them, to explain to them their duty unto Allah to facilitate your marriage. But if that is not the case, in the akhirah, Allah will bless you with so much more. The fear is when those grow up, what will happen to them? You see, something interesting came to my mind now. If you want something in life, help others get it, you'll get it. How's that? If you want something in life, facilitate for others, and Allah will facilitate for you. You want to be protected from a vice, help others be protected from it. Be concerned about it, Allah will protect you and your loved ones. So if you are a person facilitating the marriages of others, Allah will help you in your day. Allah will help you, facilitate for you, mashallah. But if you are a person blocking things for others, don't you think Allah's going to block you also? It's coming. And you might wonder, why is this happening? But every time someone else's goodness came, you were quick to put a spoke in the wheel or a spanner, and you were quick to actually block things and stop things for others. You couldn't see goodness for others. You think Allah's going to allow yourself to see goodness for yourself? It's not going to happen. And by the way, my brothers, my sisters, divorce is not necessarily a bad thing. And a person who is divorced sometimes could be way beyond those who might never have been married. It's there. It has happened. Because sometimes it's not your fault as such. And sometimes you might have been through an issue and you've learned so much that you are such a lovely changed person. There goes. Why do I say this? Because another type of a loss is when people, regarding their own children or their brothers or anyone whom they are in the guardianship of, perhaps they block you or anyone from getting married to a person who might be divorced, who might be widowed. Why? No, we won't allow that. But Allah allows it. Nah, it's okay. But the Prophet ﷺ only did that. It's okay. We won't allow. Okay. You may have succeeded in blocking it, but I tell you what, you pay a price. Not today, after 20 years. You pay a hectic, heavy price. Why? Let it be. Is it permissible? Is it okay? It's not always going to be so smooth and beautiful. No. You won't always get a perfect fit. None of us here are perfect. Sometimes the standards are so high of our family members that, you know what, there's no such person in existence. I remember a few years ago, someone came to me and says, hey, you know, I need my, if you know anyone, I have a daughter and you know we want to get her married. I said, you know what, please let me know what type of a person you're looking for. And mashallah, he rattled it out. How beautiful. I said, my brother, when your eyes close and you go to Jannah, I'm sure you'll find someone there. What you're describing, because in this world you can't really find everyone with everything. You have to compromise a few things. A few things you have to compromise. Subhanallah. Because you're going to tell me some of the men are the same. You're looking for someone who doesn't exist. And don't come and show me a picture and say I'm looking for someone like this, because that's photoshopped, by the way. It doesn't even exist. Guess what? I'm going to say something funny. Even the person it is, it's not. Which means they won't recognize themselves, because you'll have to just wash the face a bit and see, oh yeah, this one here, right, I see. That's what the world is full of today. Deception. A filter. You know what's a filter? A filter means I'm so insecure, I just want to put something to make me look a bit more secure. That's what it is. I'm not saying become passive. That okay, that's an enemy, let him do what he wants. No, you need to know when and where and how and why. Is it a personal attack? What type of an attack is it? What is the repercussion of it? What do they want of me? What are they trying to get from me, etc.? And you know what? You gauge all of that, and then you make a decision as to how you'd like to react and retaliate. If it is minor, don't waste your time. I always tell people, you suffer a loss of $1,000 and you do something that costs you $2,000 in order to recover the 1,000. You still have a loss of 1,000. If that's the case, let it be. It's okay. I saved myself. I remember once I was traveling and there was such a big noise that was made about something minor regarding the journey, and all we needed was a small monetary difference that we had to pay in order to solve the problem. And I thought to myself, in the first few minutes, I said, I'm going to pay this and carry on, because it's worth it. If I'm not going to pay this to 300 or 500 rands, whatever it was, you know what? The stress that it's going to cause for us on our journey is going to be worth 5,000. Pay it and carry on. But the guys who were with me, no, we fix these guys. You guys fix them. I don't want to fix them. I know how it works. I know how it works. And so they suffered and they struggled, and I was gone in. I'm sitting on my seat, and these guys, they come last minute, half in a puff. I said, what happened? They said, hey, we fought and fought and fought, but at the end we also had to give the money. I said, there you go. There you go. You should have just given it at the beginning. Come, relax your mind like this. The stress, the mind, the heat, whatever else, your enzymes, your emotions, everything. So you made it worse for yourself. The same applies with any loss. Sometimes we make it worse for ourselves. Connect with Allah. Then I want to tell you, the recitation of the Quran is a powerful remedy to help you recover from your loss. Recite it. Listen to the Quran from reciters whom you love. Allah has created such a powerful book that everyone who opens their mouth to recite that book has a different melody that actually soothes a different type of temperament. We are a few hundred in this masjid perhaps. If I were to ask you, who is your favorite reciter? We will all have different names because we all have different temperaments. So each one sounds different. Agreed. And subhanallah, if I asked you next week, you might have a different name because at that time you have a slightly different temperament. Ask those who are used to listening to Quran. They'll tell you, my favorite reader is this. A month later they say, my favorite reader is someone else. Why? Because it's Allah's miracle. That's what it is. It's Allah's miracle. Listening to the word of Allah is absolutely soothing. It will help you recover from your loss. And if that is the case, what about you reciting the Quran in a melodious voice, male and female, in your own little corner at home if you're a little bit shy, and you get up and you pick the Quran and you read with a melody, with a tone. You don't just come and say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin. That's okay. But you want the impact. حسنوا القرآن بأصواتكم فإن الصوت الحسن يزيد القرآن حسنا. Beautify the Quran with a lovely melodious voice. Beautify it. You know what it does for you? It heals your heart. It heals your mind. It heals you as a person. It has healing for your physical diseases too. Physical diseases. Your situation is Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahmanir Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin. That's not even the tune that I read with usually, but here it is. I'm only trying to show you, look at how soothing it is. You do it at home. Do it wherever. Do it in your car. Read with a beautiful tone. Word of Allah will soothe you, will heal you. You will come out of your loss because you will be connected with the word of the owner of the solution. I tell you something else. Then you go into the meanings of the Quran. You go into the seerah and the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Read it, because when you read it, you will realize what challenges he went through with a smile. He was still the best of character and conduct. At times of war, he was the most just. The most just. If a person is just at the time of war, you must know this person is really just. Read his seerah. Read it again. Go read a few more details from authentic books. Subhanallah. Then I tell you another thing. Connect your hearts with the 5 daily prayers. Wallahi, you will heal. Cut everything at the time of your prayer and pray. Try it out. Do you know what happened? A few years ago, or from a few years, I've been saying, my brothers and sisters, the 5 daily prayers are compulsory, but you really want the help of Allah, get up at least once a month for tahajjud. Once a month for tahajjud. Once a week if you can. If not, once a month for tahajjud. Once. So many times it happens we're awake at the time. It's okay. It's not a condition that you need to have slept before your tahajjud is acceptable. But if you've slept, you get up. If you haven't slept, you fulfill it once the time is in. No harm, no problem. However, my brothers, my sisters, try it out. Wallahi, it will change your life. So I got messages from more than one who've told me, you know, you suggested this. Well, we tried it out. It changed our lives and we've become regular. All of them say, we've become more regular. We thought, all right, let's do it once a month. And it changed our lives. In what way? Allah grants you a brightness in your face to begin with. You know, the expression on your face says a lot about your condition. Nothing to do with complexion. Complexion has nothing to do with it at all. You could be the darkest person, but you have such a beaming face, because that expression is filled with gratitude to Allah. It's filled with contentment for the sake of Allah. You break into a little smile for the sake of Allah. That's the happiness. Have a positive attitude. Many people, you meet them, there is positive energy beaming from them because they're just smiling. They're happy. They look at you, Salamu alaikum, how are you, etc., etc. MashaAllah, happy to see you. Oh, that was so positive. What happened? The world became a better place because of the positive energy. And if you want to recover from your loss, another very important point is not to gossip and backbite and slander and not to involve negatively in the lives of others. Don't. Because if that is going to happen, you're going to drop to a new low which is not going to be helpful for your recovery. Speak good about others. Try and help them up. Say good things, empowering things to them and to others. Look at the positives. Abstain from gossip and backbiting to the degree that excuse yourself from the gatherings in which people are backbiting and gossiping. Learn to excuse yourself. Nothing wrong to say, sorry man, I just need to go. Initially you might not have told them why you're going. They'll figure it out if you did it once or twice. Because some people don't have the courage to say, you guys are gossiping now. You're talking bad about others. When Allah says, أَيُحِبُّ أَحَدُكُمْ أَن يَأْكُلَ لَحْمَ أَخِيهِ مَيْتًا فَكَرِهْتُمُوهُ. Allah Almighty speaks about backbiting and what it is equivalent to. Eating the flesh of your dead brother that is disliked. Allahu Akbar. So there we go. My beloved brothers and sisters, we pray that Allah Almighty grant us goodness and happiness and success. And I pray that Allah grant us a recovery from all our loss. And I pray that Allah Almighty help each and every one of us. Remember, it's not easy to speak about every single example. We're all going through different losses. People have lost financially. People have lost jobs. They've lost loved ones. They've lost limbs. They've lost so much. They have lost a lot. The only thing that seems to be positive when we talk about loss is, hey, I lost some weight, man. Allahu Akbar. So how to recover from your weight loss? We're not talking about that. But all other losses, may Allah grant us ease. Help each other. We are one ummah. There is more hate today than love. Change that. Change it starting with you. And this is an honest piece of advice. When your heart beams with love, no matter what happens in your life, you will sail through it by the help of Allah. Look at that companion that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam pointed at and said, you want to see a man from paradise, look at this man. When they found out it was only that he used to remove from his heart the dislike or the hate or whatever ill feeling, in fact, every single night that he may have had against anyone, remove it. I don't need this. Take it out. Are you ready to practice that? It's one way of earning paradise. Take it out. You don't need it. So what? You had a misunderstanding with someone. It's okay. It's not the first misunderstanding in the world, and it won't be the last one. But yes, if they've usurped something of yours, justice needs to be served. We will go through with it. We will make sure that it happens, but we do it respectfully. Even that with love. Not easy, right? With love. You have a dispute. You may, in fact, stand up. If it is something that you need to stand up for, but let it be respectful and filled with love. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Makkah al-Mukarramah knew that these people of Quraysh, they are harming us, they are doing this to us, they are doing that to us, do you know how he spoke to them? With respect. And you know what he had in his heart towards them? He had in his heart towards them a dua that they came to the truth, and he meant it genuinely. He wanted goodness for them. That's what it was. He loved for them guidance, just like he loved it for himself and others. Many of them came, some of them didn't come. The loss was theirs. But did it ever decrease the value of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam or the companions? Not at all. In fact, it increased their value. And I end with one point. It's a point that many people don't speak about. Or if they do, it's perhaps not stressed as being important. Learn to respect the elderly and give them time of the day. Serve them, greet them, talk to them. Allah will have mercy on you. Learn to respect the elderly. You see someone a little bit older than you, offer them respect immediately, no matter what. And your parents are at the top of that list. Your mother or father, they may be unreasonable, offer them respect. Speak to them with utmost respect. If you have to disagree with them, do so very respectfully. Bear that in mind, because then the mercy of Allah descends. The mercy of Allah descends when you respect those who are older.